Hey, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Today, we're going to give you the long-awaited update as to what happened to the display key. So as many of you know, I like to modify my F30 BMW, and about 2 years ago, I set out to try to find a remote start for my car. Now, I've never had a remote start, but I've installed them on some other cars and always thought it would be a really cool idea, and we get lots of comments and requests to do a remote start video. So about a year ago, we were able to get our hands on one of the only remote start systems in the world, this little display key. Let me show you how it works. When it's cold outside, it's really nice because what you can do is you can start your car from inside by sliding up and simply pressing the start stop button. And as far as the range is concerned, it's pretty good. It's about what your normal key would do. So again, once we press and hold that start stop button, it takes about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you'll see the car start on just like that. And the key had a lot of other cool features, you know, things like you'd expect, like you can open your trunk. The BMW emblem is your lock button, there's unlock, and then this little button, if you press that, probably won't be able to hear it, but what it does is it honks your horn 3 times. So if you lose your car in a parking lot, pretty cool feature to have. So to access the other features in here, you can see we have, you know, also the same thing here. You have unlock, you have lock, you have lock. It just takes a second. So like if I hit the lock button, it says command sending. So if you're right outside of your car with your hands full of groceries, it's way better to just use this button or to use comfort access or something like that. You can also tell like if your car is locked or unlocked, which is pretty cool. You can go in here and see, you know, everything from like what your battery voltage is to your engine state, so you can tell if your car is on or off, which is pretty cool if you're inside and you're not really sure if your car actually started. It's good to know. And then there's a couple other features in here. It even has a little pedometer, so you can actually track your steps, kind of like a Fitbit, which is kind of cool. So as you just saw, this remote start key system has some pretty cool features, and honestly, all I really cared about was remote start, so I was just trying to kind of look past that. We ended up having it in the car for, I guess, about a month or so, made a video on it, and we planned on selling it because it seemed like it was great, it seemed like it was solid. And then some things happened that I wasn't really too happy with. So around that time, what we did is we canceled out and refunded all of the pre-orders for the key, and we just wanted to take a step back to make sure that everything was fine before we proceeded. So what we did is we went to the manufacturer with a small list of things that we needed to be addressed before we felt comfortable selling it. We would go to the seller and they would say, sure, we can do this, give us a month and we'll have it ready. So we would go back to a lot of you guys and say, we need about a month and it should be ready. We go back to our manufacturer in a month and say, okay, where is it? And they say, well, we need another month. And it just kind of became an endless cycle. So we talked about some of the pros of the display key. Let's talk about some of the cons. So I have my nice little list here. It's not too long though. So some of these are minor and some of them were huge deal breakers. So let's talk about the minor ones first. So first off, it is in 24-hour time. There doesn't really seem to be a way to change that. Again, I'm used to 12-hour time. It's not the end of the world, but just a minor inconvenience. Minor inconvenience number 2 is everything is in metric. So if you live pretty much anywhere else in the world but the US and a couple other places, you're going to use kilometers, you're also going to use liters. In the United States, we use miles and gallons. So again, it's just made some of the features on the key not really work for me. Third, it only supports 2G cell service at the moment. So if you live in the United States, you can't get 2G anywhere. So the ability to have this key and be able to use it from long distances and whatnot and check your fuel and check a lot of these parameters, not possible. Now let's talk about some of the bigger issues. So first off, the battery life in this is not very great. You will have to charge it, I would say, every single day. If this dies, you will not be able to get in your car, let alone remote start. It does support wireless charging, and it does come with a wireless charger, and it also has a little spot on the side where you can plug it in, as you can see here. But I didn't really want something else in my life that I had to charge every single day. The battery life, I felt like if I used it a lot, it was more like a day. Maybe it would go into the second day, but I was always very concerned that this battery was gonna die, so I ended up carrying around a spare key. Now let's talk about keys for a second. With this system, which you will see in the installation video that will be posted after this video, you have to have one of your BMW key fobs in your car. Now, if you don't have a spare and you need to buy one, it's like $510-ish for a spare key fob to have in your car. Now, the way that the system works, it is very safe. No one can just jump in your car and steal your car. If they found your key, they could put a battery in it and drive away. But the way that we installed it, it's so hidden, it would take you 4 hours, you get frustrated and give up. But by the time this video airs, it's not gonna be in my car, so don't try to steal my car. Now, one of the other issues that I had with this key is it does not support OEM comfort access. So you're at the grocery store, you have your kids running behind you, you have your hands full of groceries, you go to unlock your door, you open the door, your car alarm starts going off, and your car goes into anti-theft mode. So even if you wanted to start it, you can't, and the alarm's going off, and it's super embarrassing, even though you have comfort access. So now I will say this key does have its own version of comfort access, and what you do is you can basically tell the car, you know, when I'm within 6 feet of the car, I want it to automatically unlock without touching anything. And then once I'm done with my car and I walk away, once I get past that foot, whether it be 6 foot or 8 foot or whatever you set it to, it'll automatically lock. Now, although that sounds like a great idea, if you have some like creeper following you or something like that, and you just want to discreetly unlock your car and lock it, it just kind of makes it a little bit funny. Not that I've ever had that happen, but you know, it's it's more for like if my wife is out with my kids and, you know, there's some creeper guy or something like that, and it's like, okay, hurry, get in the car. I don't want it to be like, oh, car's unlocked, everybody in, you know? I just think that there's some security issues with that, and I just didn't really trust it, just to be very honest with you. Okay, I have 2 other issues. So I was driving across the Walt Whitman Bridge in Philadelphia, which is very busy, and I was driving along, everything was fine, didn't hit any buttons or anything. In fact, this was actually in my cup holder, and I heard somebody honking. And it was really weird because it was like beep, 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 and I'm like, what is this guy doing behind me? And then I looked down and I realized that my car had shut off and had kicked into anti-theft mode. So what I had to do while driving down a bridge in a lot of traffic was I had to find the key, which was luckily just in my cup holder. I had to unlock the car, press the start-stop button to get the car started again, and then drive away. So that was kind of a scary experience because the car just basically powered down and put me in anti-theft mode without any real reason. So that was one of the biggest deal breakers to me. Although it only happened one time and I'm not sure if it was a fluke or what, talked to the manufacturer, they said that it has never happened before. Once, you know, that's one of those things where once is just kind of enough. So I didn't really want that to happen again. Now, the last big issue was support. So as we saw, it was taking forever to get updates on the updates that were supposed to be happening to the key. And we just weren't really getting them. And I just felt like that was a reflection on how it would be if we had some kind of customer issue. And, you know, I had some pretty serious issues, especially when I was on the bridge that one time and the car shut off and went to anti-theft mode. So I always make sure that when we partner with new companies that they're going to be there to support us when we need them the most. And I just really haven't felt that from this company. So we are actually not going to be selling it. Now, you will find this key online if you look. So we are still going to post the video if you are still interested in doing it yourself. Just wanted to let you know about some of the issues. Will they resolve some of these things? Maybe in the future. They did tell me recently that if they do go to 4G support with these keys, that the battery life is going to drop by like 2/3. So they said right now it's supposed to last between 3 or 4 days, but I've realized that when I actually use it, that my battery lasts like a day. So I'm just concerned that, you know, maybe you get like a half day's use out of it and you have to charge it. So for me, that defeats the purpose. The other thing is when I originally bought the key, I saw a picture, it looked like this, and I was like, oh cool, a BMW display key. Then I found out that they put a BMW logo on it. So one thing that I keep saying the last thing and then I just keep coming up with more things. One thing that I reached out immediately and I said, hey, I was under the impression that this was a legit BMW key, and it is in fact not. And I said, I will not sell anything with a BMW logo that is not BMW because well, it's illegal. And I don't want BMW knocking on my door because that's just not cool. So hopefully today's video has just shown you some of what's been going on behind the scenes. I apologize that we didn't really get too much info out. We were trying to get info from one spot and didn't want to rush anything, but you know, at the end of the day, we just wanted to make sure that you guys were all protected. We wanted to make sure that you had a solid product. And after continuing to vet this out, like I said, the first month I had it in, thing was flawless, and it wasn't all that cold out, but I used it all the time. I still haven't installed my car today. We're gonna pull it out actually later this afternoon. Oh, there was one other issue. Now, another issue that arose after using it for some time is, I'll start the car. Typically what you could do is you could start the car and then turn it off with the key fob. The problem that I found, I'll shut the car off, is I just shut the car off, everything should be good. So like I said, I'm gonna just shut the car off here, and then we'll just head inside. So, for whatever reason, when I try to shut it off through the key thing, it just keeps starting. And the other issue is the control module box sounds like my turn signal's on. Here, I'll get my microphone close so you can hear it. So there's like a continual relay clicking, which is really annoying. Another issue that I have, as you see over there on the ground, there's my key and my display key, and I'm in the car after remote starting it. Minor security issue. And again, we're going to be posting the video on how to install this, so if maybe you live in a country that still supports 2G cell service, maybe you use liters and kilometers and whatnot, maybe this is a decent option for you. Oh, the other option, I just thought of something else I didn't like. If you do have an actual 2G, 3G, or 4G service, you know, assuming that they get to that point, you have to pay like you're paying for a cell phone. So keep that in mind too. I don't know what your cell phone plan looks like, but a lot of plans are $20, $30, $40 a month. Is that worth it to have a key in your pocket? I'll leave that up to you because it was not for me. I just wanted simple remotes. All I wanted was remote start. But anyway, so my name is Brian. Thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully today has just shed some light on kind of the whole scope of what's been going on with the display key. We weren't trying to fool anyone. We're trying to leave anybody hanging, but unfortunately there were just some things going on behind the scenes that we weren't really super happy with. So we decided to pull out, and like I said before, we will not be selling this. But if you like today's video, give us a like, make sure to subscribe. Check us out at KiesMotorsports.com for parts we do sell, for BMW retrofits, performance, and aesthetic needs. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports, and have a great day.